Welcome back to another great episode of the Solo Scale Podcast, a podcast of the AI-driven marketer. And today I have with me Frank Ammons, the founder of Exodus Business. Frank, thanks for being on the podcast, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Frank, I believe you and I, we've been Facebook friends for a while now. We've been connected kind of in similar circles, helping coaches and business owners really just grow their business. But before we kind of dive into your expertise and how you help them, because I know you're going to have some fire nuggets and some contrarian nuggets, which is even better for the podcast. Tell us, how did you get started in this even world of business and jumping into it?
Yeah. Well, basically, unemployable. That's how I got started. Started off with seeing someone that you're working with and for, and they're making all the money. And, you just have bigger dreams, aspirations. You want to achieve things that, your family that you grew up with wasn't able to. And, you just have those dreams. And I'm risk averse, I should say, and wanted to take the lead and own something myself and created it and try to scale it and grow it. So those aspirations are still very strong in me today. And that started back when I was 15 years old, trying to do my own thing.
Yeah. Okay. So you just mentioned you're risk averse. So most people who are risk averse would not take the leap of faith. How did you?
Okay. Well, maybe I meant the opposite way. I'm sorry. But yeah, I know how to take risk, and now that I'm smarter, hopefully, knock on wood here, if I can find some around here. But I understand how to take calculated risk versus just jumping into something totally, I guess you would call it naked. So nowadays it's more calculated. So I guess I meant the other way around with when I was, my family grew up more conservative when it comes to making money.
Yeah.
The job was always getting a job was always the answer. Right. So now my dad was a hard worker. My mom had several jobs. So they weren't, against working or even having a job, but that was their answer towards, income and taking care of your family, etc. And, I didn't ever necessarily like that path because I could see that there was others that were doing bigger things and, creating bigger income and impact. And so I knew that there was a different path. It took me a while to figure it out. Obviously, most people, I didn't have someone coach me in the beginning. So I was really just learning and falling on my face on my own for the first probably 10 years. Right. So I got a lot of history where there's businesses that I got involved in that didn't work out, right? Failures and things that didn't make money and things that were just a good idea, but that's all it was, right? So that's my story. Most people have the similar story. The ones that don't have a kind of a messy path leading up to some of the bigger things that they've been able to enjoy are probably the ones that, are also not seeing too big of a success when it comes to, taking leaps and bounds, right, to create generational wealth and help your family and your kids and your grandkids and even people outside of that. And so, that's the risk reward kind of attitude you have to have, I don't know about you, Ken, but I don't know how much time I have left. I don't think you do. If you knew those type of answers, we might as well just play the lotto so we can just cut to the chase and go on vacation. But we don't. Right? We don't. The good book says that life is like a vapor. It's here today, gone tomorrow. And one thing we do not have more of, I can tell you that, is time. So try to make the most of the time and multiply your efforts by having a business and creating value and creating opportunity for people to be able to do the same for themselves in whatever area that you do that in.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right that like we don't know if we'll have tomorrow, right? That's what the Lord says in the Bible is like, tomorrow's not promised. Today's here.
Yes.
But while we're here today, let's steward our gifts as best as possible.
Yes, for
now,
sure. Yep.
You, Frank, have a unique gift that a lot of people would love to have. And that's this gift of calculated risk. You talked about it. There's a lot of people who are in a 9-to-5 right now who may have a side hustle and they don't know how to take that leap of faith. So walk us through, how do you have calculated risks, or what does that even look like for people who are like, I want to have that same generational wealth impact and start my own business like you have?
Yeah. Well, I think there's even a lot of people who've quote unquote started a business and are still, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or they have a part-time job as well as trying to do their business. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking care of your responsibilities. If you have those, I got kids running around everywhere. I don't even know how many kids I got anymore. I got All I know is the vehicle that we transfer in is about to become a bus or a limousine, one, because we got so many of them around here. But my point is like, I understand the balance between taking risk and being responsible. Where when I was younger, single, no kids to take care of, I could take a lot more risk, right? So if you're a family man, family woman, mom, husband, wife, whatever, you may have some kids, you may have some responsibilities. So you do have to be more calculated. So I'm not saying throw all that away, but if you're trying to start a business, I think it comes down to this one thing, and I hate to bullet down to one thing, and that is the belief that you have in yourself and the thing in which you're investing your time and energy in creating a business. Because that belief will determine your behaviors, and your behaviors determine the results you actually end up getting, right? At the end of the day, if I'm trying to sell you something, belief and conviction is what comes through my conversation with you. And if I don't believe it wholeheartedly myself, that's going to come through. So who's going to buy something you're not even confident in, right? Or 100% confident in. But the people that are passionate and really have a belief and conviction in what they offer, a transformational result, a life change, leap, a bound, whatever it's a tool or resource that helps them do X, Y, and Z, that's pretty evident. And it's easy to buy from those people, or easy to invest in them, and easy to purchase from them, because now that transfers from them to you. And I think a lot of people struggle with just the confidence that they need to be able to create that business or go all in. And we all know that going all in is a surefire way to quickly find out how good or test your idea is. And so a lot of people just need to take that leap of faith and go for it all the way, because, at the end of the day, unless you're creating something that's totally blue ocean, no one else has done it, there's probably good examples of something similar. So you can kind of hack the system, if you will. And people say this all the time: success leaves good clues, right? You can find those clues and you can use them to model something similar. For example, if you're running ads, which in my opinion, this is more tactical, but if you're running ads, a lot of people think ads don't work because they didn't work for them. And there's a reason for that, right? There's a lot of reasons. I mean, I can't give you exactly because I don't know everybody's situation, but usually it comes down to, the audience you picked, the offer you had, the headlines, the type of thing, whether you use a video or a static ad, if you didn't have those things put together, the landing page, the conversion rate, those things weren't put together right. There's a reason why maybe you didn't spend enough money. There's a reason why it didn't work. But for me, I've spent over $1 million this year in Facebook ads. And at the end of the day, I don't do that because I want to donate my money. I do that because it works. The only way I know that it works is because I've taught myself by modeling others. So, you can go on Facebook right now to their ad library and you can type in a competitor or someone who does something similar to you. And you can find the ads that they're running. And you can take versions of it that they've been running for a while, which is your clue that the ad is working. Why would they keep spending money on something that doesn't work? And you can use a version of that, right? The call to action, the call out, the headline, or some kind of hook like that similar. Now, obviously, I'm not advocating for copying exactly what they say and do, but I am saying, look, find something that's got success and do what I call the zag method, right? Where everybody zigs, you just zag, right? So, for example, one of the companies that I created, I've never, ever sold water filtration in my life, but I had this hunch that I could sell it over the phone or online. And you say, well, how do you do that if you install it? Well, I had to hire installers, obviously. No one has ever sold water filtration systems over the phone. They always come to the house and they do the demonstration. And so I said, what if we could sell it over the phone? Well, we did almost $1.5 million in revenue since March by running an ad that we did a little bit what everybody else did, but did it differently. So everybody in that industry was saying, hey, come, let us do a free water test. Okay. Well, free water test just means, AKA, a salesperson's coming out and he's going to try to pitch you a $10,000 water system.
Yeah.
That's all that means, right? So we didn't want to come to the house and do a free water test. The reason why you're calling, or the reason why you need a water system, is because you already know your water's bad. You don't need to be told something you already know. So I was saying to myself, what if we do this? We create an ad that actually has a price that's obviously lower than what people buy them for. and they just get the information right over the phone. And we used an ad setup similar to what was already out there, but just used the ZAG, right? The ZAG method is what I call it. And it worked, right? And I've never sold water filtration ever in my life up until that time. And we were able to sell almost 500 units this year since March. So that's a demonstration of someone, me, who never did something, but modeled what is out there and then took a little zag of it, right? A little zigzag of it, a little different, and created it in my own. And then now I've scaled it up. And now I got my own versions, right? Anybody can do the same thing. The tools are there, the resources are there. So when you talk about calculated risk, you can minimize the risk by modeling what people are doing similar. And really, and another way to minimize your risk is your environment, right? Who you hang out with. If you're not hanging out with people who are already successful in certain ways, especially in the industry you're trying to be in, you're not going to know what's going to be right and wrong and what decisions to make when it comes to building that business, starting that business, growing that business, etc. So, I use this example a lot. Sorry, I'm going on a little rant here, but where you live in the world?
Nashville,
I believe you're north, right?
Yeah, Nashville. So a few hours away from me.
So if we were to take an orange tree that grows in Florida and we would go to Minnesota and plant that same orange tree, it's not going to make it.
It'll die
because of the environment.
Yeah.
Right. And so many people are trying to live out a dream life with people who have already given up on their dreams or don't want to put any more time and effort in their dreams. You got to be around people who have already doing it or done it or are on their way to do it. And that way you elevate your sight and your vision to do the same thing. So hopefully that makes sense. That's what's helped me minimize the risk by modeling, by my environment, and by being willing to take some calculated risk and take that leap. So that's helped a lot. Hopefully that helps somebody else who's listening to this.
In like 7 minutes, you just dropped like 19 nuggets, bro.
Sorry, man.
No, which is great because I think a lot of people sometimes even think about, should I do ads? They get nervous because, with ads, they're like, am I going to burn all my cash? I don't know what I'm doing. And you just gave them a real practical tip, like just model, go to the ads manager, go model something that's working, right? And you're not plagiarizing, but you're using the principles. Oh, they did something like this. Okay, use ZAG a little bit. It's 10 times easier to do that than to try to figure out, hey, should I go do this on my own? Or should I find a different funnel? As you think about it now, today, Frank, just to give people a sense of what you're doing, what's your business model like? What kind of businesses are you running right now?
Really, it's consulting, coaching. That's my passion. I love helping entrepreneurs see things they can't see, the blind spots. All of us have blind spots. I have coaches that see things I can't see for myself and my businesses. And everyone at every level has blind spots. Now, obviously, we get a little bit better at picking them out. But the leverage, right? The leverage of coaching is for someone to see what you can't see. It's simple. They can see some things because they've been there and done that, but they also can see where you're at and help you overcome it. So when you have a coach or a consultant in your hemisphere or in your business and in your life, that's the hack. That's the way to use the leverage of what their experience was without having to go through it and find out yourself and taking much more time and resources and money. And at the end of the day, you're able to level up a lot quicker. And like I said in the beginning of this, we don't know how much more time we have. So at the end of the day, we have to use our resource that is depleting as wisely as possible. And that's where coaching comes in. So I love to help people leverage the opportunities and be able to leap, make a big jump towards the next level, right? From whether they're starting a business, trying to create their first customers, or whether they're getting customers and now they're trying to create systems to be able to scale up, or they're ready to kind of step out and let the team develop a team that helps them do that, right? Whatever level they're at, I try to help them, coach them on what's going to get those, those people in place to be able to do that.
Yeah. So as a business coach, things that you are seeing are blind spots. Are you right now seeing any trends of things that you haven't already talked about of blind spots that a lot of coaches are having coming into 2026?
The biggest trend is people following too many trends. In my opinion, it's like people are always trying to, jump on trends or ideas, and They get scared of this and scared of that. I think it goes back to that confidence that you have in what you do and what you deliver. If you don't have much confidence in it, or if you do and you claim you do, as soon as it's tested, and the best way to test it is put it out in the market and start getting in front of people that you claim you can help, that's when we find out how much you believe in it, because you're going to go through the no's, you're going to go through the rejection, you're going to go through the hard times of figuring things out. There's some new things I'm doing right now. And in the first 30 days, you have these projections. Oh, I want to do $100,000. And, there's definitely paths to that, right? There's paths to $1 million in 30 days. But when you're starting off something, you have your projections and then you have actually what happens. And so how do you bridge the gap between what you want and what actually happens is you push through and you continue to speed, right? You speed through all the different challenges that you're going to face. And the faster you can get, and my big word right now this year is velocity. And velocity, most people think of velocity as about speed. Well, actually, velocity is the measurement of speed and direction. So you need to know where you're going as much as you need to know how fast you got to get there, right? And again, life is like a vapor, here today, gone tomorrow. So it's very quick. So we have to use a certain pace and cadence to go through it. And the faster you go through it, and I don't mean fast as in like blindly, but using velocity as a way to know the direction and the speed so that you can learn through and get through those challenges. And then also use the other things I talked about earlier, which is leveraging your environment of people that can help you and modeling things out there where there's success clues already. And when you do that, you can really minimize down what you're going to have to go through and face. And you can hit those projections a lot quicker, right? So that's what I'm seeing is people just jump on trends and, Andronema for Facebook ads, messing up everybody. If you don't know any, like, come on. If anything, it's made it better, right? It's made it better. So all these posts and YouTube videos about Andronema and all that stuff, it sounds real fancy, but all it means is they've improved things and people want to jump on that. So I'd say, steer clear of that. Keep your eye on the prize of where you need to go and where you're going with it, and do everything you can to take the steps towards that. When you do, you'll be able to see your success, hit the marks and the targets that you're after.
Yeah. And what's fascinating is when you know where you're going and what you value, you can say no to a lot of things.
Yes.
And
it's very powerful.
And I found most people just don't know what they truly value.
Right.
That's why they fall into the shiny object syndrome. We're like, oh, there's this new trend. I got to do this. I got to do this. It's like, I was talking to one guy. I do a lot of podcasting and stuff like that. And they were like, oh, I think I should do a podcast. I'm like, well, do you even like being on camera?
Right.
And he was like, no, I actually hate being on camera. And I'm like, then let's not even waste time about talking about podcasting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not your season right now. Go find something that works for you and what you value. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, it gave them just relief on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For you, Frank, as you think about people right now, there a certain group of people, I'm thinking about coaches, consultants who they're kind of struggling. They'll get a client here or there. They're making money, but not enough to put on ads, right? What would be your word of advice for them to be able to say, hey, I do need to level up, but I don't know where to go next?
Again, it's the formula I already kind of gave, and that's modeling. You can test things for $20, $30, $100 and get results, right? But you do obviously need to know some steps to do that. And the only way to do that is really, YouTube's got a full library of different ways to do things. Obviously you can get real distracted quickly. So that's the negative of it. So focus on what you're trying to accomplish, right? If you're trying to work with a certain group of people, if you're a coach, then you need to figure out who's doing that already and figure out what it takes to do that, right? What's the system they're using? What's the business model they're using? And then try to use your own version of it and take those steps, right? If someone is already doing that and getting results, then you just need to apply that yourself the best way you can. So if you don't have a lot of money, everybody's been there. You can easily find prospects on Facebook and social media, and just by inboxing them. And listen, if you don't have money and you need testimonials, right? A lot of people ask about that. Well, just get on a Zoom and coach someone and get them results and record it, and then have them tell you on the Zoom what their experience was, and hopefully it's positive. Capture that recording and use it as an ad or post it on your social media and say, hey, I can get you a similar results. Do not overcomplicate, what you offer either, right? I mean, not long ago, I had a new offer with a new thing for a certain specific group of people. And the offer is helping them go to levels like, 25, 50 million in revenue. Well, my offer was about talking that language when really, once I started, getting into these opportunities, I realized real quick that I was creating a situation where it was like drinking from a fire hose, okay,
Yeah.
or trying to eat spaghetti with a spoon. It was just too much. So I was talking at a higher level than where the person was at the time. Now they want to go there, but you have to sometimes understand simple, right? Simple is where you got to go, right? Keep it simple, right? Keep it short and simple. So it took me like a couple of phone calls and a couple of coaching sessions, a couple, booking appointments for me to realize I shouldn't say dumb it down, but I got to bring it down to the simple, right? To the main thing is the main thing. The main thing is not them hitting 25, 50 million, which is great. The main thing is how do they get more jobs today, which is what the offer was doing. And then we can talk about that later, right? And so when I changed that and made that shift, all of a sudden they're like, man, this is great. This is awesome. How do we sign up? I mean, they basically sold themselves at that point. But in the beginning, my first couple of calls was like, we're going to help you get to 25, 50 million. And this is how we're going to do it, blah, 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 which all that is true. But it was just too much for people where they're at. And so sometimes you got to bring your offer down to this very simple and just to the results, right? So if you make a post on Facebook right now and you say, hey, if you want this and that result, comment below or inbox me. I can literally show you how we can help you do that, or I can help you do that. Just that simple post. If you have anyone on your Facebook that's in that realm of what you're trying to do, which you should, because you should be adding them on your Facebook friend list, go to groups and all that, then they're going to comment and inbox you.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you can get free leads, right? And then you have conversations with them through the DM and on the phone and on Zoom until you figure out how you can help them. And then you figure out how they pay you. And then you start multiplying, right? So hopefully that's helpful with what you asked there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And that's where I want people to feel encouraged that like there are ways and it doesn't have to be complex. And I like how you're talking about like whittling down your core offer. And I make that mistake every time I make a new offer. Yeah. I'm like, this thing is so bloated. I got to chop it. I'm like, what? I heard someone say this earlier. They're like, what exactly is it that you do? At the end of the day, what is it that you do? And if you can't explain it to like a fifth grader, it's too complex. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, this is what we do. And I remember when I did that, I do that exercise for all my stuff now. I'm like, what is it that I do? And can I explain it to a fifth grader or to my kids? My oldest 8 right now. If they can understand it, then I can sell it.
Yeah.
And that's super helpful. As we wrap up here, Frank, I do. And you're an OG. You kind of understand these, but I'm doing a trend report right now for coaches and expert-led business owners. So my goal in 2026 is to interview 110 business owners, right, and see any trends reports. So I'm asking the same 5 questions to everybody, and just want to see what answers. I won't say anything. We're calling them the Fast 5. This is old school. You don't have to answer for 10 minutes. It's like 30 seconds long. Just kind of get a pulse. Okay. So question number 1 is this. What's something in your business that you're experimenting with right now?
New offers all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by new offers, is it just like different messaging or like actual different products?
Well, both, right? Because we have a couple of different ones going on. So different products, different offers, and, different levels of clientele that we want to serve, kind of see where the most opportunity is or the most sticky opportunity is.
Sweet. Question 2, which part of your business feels the most in flux these days, or a better word, maybe like needs the most?
Well, always messaging, making sure we're hitting home with what people are looking for and, attracting the right customers. So messaging is always something we're always trying to evolve and make better. I mean, when I say, me and my team are always discussing that and finding out those words, those word tracks in our branding and in our advertising that really can attract the ones we're looking for.
Yeah. Question number 3, what's a goal you're building toward this year that you're really excited about?
Well, financially, I have a goal for hitting $1 million by summertime, as far as cash collected in our collective business. And so we've created a path towards that, right? So we just reverse engineered the money goal, how many customers we need to talk, if our certain close ratio is what we think it should be conservatively. And then so we just reverse engineer it by the weeks and the days that should lead to that. So that's really our main focus, is hitting those goals so that we can achieve some other things for the rest of the year.
Nice. Question number 4, where do you see the industry shifting and how are you preparing for it?
Which industry?
The coaching industry.
Well, it's always shifting because there's different things. I mean, at the end of the day, if coaches know how to convey the compelling offer and the result that they give, there always will be a need for coaching, because humans need other humans to help, right? Now, there's tools that a lot of coaches are thinking that it's going to make them obsolete. And yes, there's going to be certain things that coaches, you won't need a coach for. But when it comes to, clarity, confidence, mapping out, help me with some small little hack. Like, for example, I've had people pay me 6 figures for one idea, and I didn't know that they needed one idea, but they came and they signed up for a program, and it was a 6-month program. Well, they left after 2 weeks of meeting with me because, and then I called them and I'm like, hey, everything okay? I mean, you left. I haven't heard back from you. Oh, I got everything I need. And that second session showed us, you just talked about this and this and that, and it just opened up everything for us. So we're good now. And I'm like, okay, great. So as long as
like, that's the easiest $100,000 I made. This is awesome.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, higher caliber people that are in that level, they're looking for speed. They're not necessarily looking for information rechurned over and over again, but sometimes it can be the simplest thing, just a reminder or a blind spot that you talk to them about, and all of a sudden opens up everything. Or they needed a little more confident in a certain subject, and once they have it, that's all they need, and they're gone, right? That gives them the juice and the ammo to keep going. So that's one thing about it. If you have something that you're offering, you never know, there's going to be some pieces inside of it that can change people's lives and business, etc.
Love it. Okay. Last question is, what's the type of legacy that you want to leave behind to your kids?
Oh man. I mean, the legacy is that, never give up, keep fighting, and for what you believe. Obviously being a Christian, I want them to, bring the gospel forward and help as many people as possible, as Christ has done for us. But also just being able to stay in a mindset of achievement, and that you're not here just to achieve for yourself, but you're here to achieve for your family and for as many people as you possibly can impact. That's your purpose in general. Obviously, people have specific purposes and things like that, but overall, we're all here and we're all being created for a greater purpose, and it's outside of ourselves. So that's what legacy I want my kid to remember, that it's all about. That's the main thing it's all about. It's always going to be about. And as long as they can hold on to that and not leave that, they'll be able to fulfill exactly what they're designed to do.
Frank, one of the things that I love about you is that because you are confident, you're willing to speak the truth in love. And that's what a lot of coaches need. And I think for many coaches out there who don't actually do really well, it's because they're not willing to call out the stuff. You know, even in this podcast, you were like, no, you just got to do this. Like, you got to do this, like kind of straight to the point. Right. And so I say that because there are people who are listening to this that they're like, I need a Frank in my life. I don't need someone to pat me in the head and give me encouragement, which we do at times, but I need a Frank. What's the best way for them to connect with you?
Well, one of the biggest things I'm pushing out there for people who are just trying to get started or trying to level up, we talked about ads and creating ads. I actually created a training. You can go to a website called createyouronads.com. Createyouronads.com will allow you to sign up for a free training. It's absolutely free. I do offer you at the end of that training a way to work with us if you want. But when you leave that training, which is over an hour long, you will be able to create your own ads and actually get results. So if someone wants to reach out to me and they're looking to add, creating their own ads, or even hire someone within their own company so they don't have to get burned by marketing agencies or people they don't trust, go to createyouronads.com and sign up for that training, and we can connect that way, and they can join the training and learn everything they need to do to scale up their business through ads.
Love it. Frank, thank you so much for being the podcast, man. Well, I'm sure we'll stay connected and keep encouraging each other. But for those who are listening and you're like, hey, I think I may need to start jumping into ads, go to Frank's website, createyourown.ads.com, and start leveling up your business so that you can start pursuing your legacy. Thank you guys. Hope you have a great day, and God bless.